Hello, this is BV Ramana, teacher in English. In this video, I would like to share with you the topic how to change finite clauses into non-finite clauses. Well, how to how to reduce finite clauses into non-finite clauses. Here are the three rules. One is first we have to identify first occurring clause or the clauses which starts with relative pronouns or relative adverbs. And second step, after identifying these clauses, we have to make necessary changes in it. What are the changes? We have to remove who or which and other relative pronouns, and identical subjects are to be removed, and conjunctions are to be removed, and we can keep only one primary subject. And next one, verb changes, finite verb changes. Here, if we find the active finite verb, we have to change it into verb 1 ing form. If it is in the passive form, we have to remove be form. These are the three important rules. How can we apply these three important rules in the sentences? Let us see. Example number 1. He passed the test. He worked hard. Here, first one we have to identify first occurring clause. Between these two sentences, this is the first occurring clause, first happening clause. So here we have to make necessary changes. What is the first one? Who or which are not here. That means the relative pronouns are not here. Identical subjects are there. He and he are the identical subjects. So one of the identical subjects here, he is to be removed. This is the rule number 2. And conjunctions are not there for removal. And now third change, verb change. This is the finite verb change in active form. So this must be changed into verb ing form. By doing these changes, we get the answer. Working hard, he passed the test. Next one, the boy who runs fast wins the race. Here, the first thing, relative pronoun, the clause relative clause. Here, the relative clause who runs fast is the clause, the first occurring clause. And then, second step, we have to remove who or which. Here, who is there, who is to be removed. And third step, here verb change. Here the verb is in the active form, runs. So it must be changed into ing form. It becomes running. By doing these changes, we get the answer. The boy running fast wins the race will be the answer. And third sentence, he was born in London, so he became the citizen of UK. Here, the first change, first occurring clause. Between these two sentences, this is the first occurring clause, first happening clause. And here, the second thing we have to do is that who or which are relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are not there. And identical subjects are found. He are the identical subjects. And in the first occurring clause, we have to remove the one of the identical subjects, he. This is the rule number 2. In the rule number 2, one more point is that conjunctions. Conjunctions are to be removed. This conjunction so has been removed here. And third change, verb change. If the verb is in passive finite form, and that means passive finite verb is there, we have to remove be form. Here was born is in the finite passive form. So here we have to remove be form was. By doing these changes, we get the answer. Born in London, he became the citizen of UK. In this way, we have to identify the first occurring clause or relative clauses, and we have to remove these things. That means relative pronouns, identical subjects, and conjunctions. And but we have to keep the primary subject. That means the subject in the last occurring clause should be kept as it is, and we have to make the necessary changes in the verb. That is finite verb changes. If it is in active form, it should be changed into verb 1 ing form. If it is in passive form, only we have to remove be form. Now look at the textual 10th class textual exercise. Rewrite the following sentences including non-finite clauses. Let us see how these rules can be applied in our textual exercise. Textual exercise. Example number 1. First one, we have to identify the first occurring clause or relative clauses. Here the first occurring clause is underlined here. And next, second one, we have to remove the identical subjects. Here the identical subjects are he and he. So the one of the identical subjects he is removed in the first occurring clause. This is rule number 2. And one more thing is that conjunction after is removed here. And next one, third change, finite verb change. Here the verb is in active form. Whenever verb is in active form, it should be changed into verb 1 ing form. So had has been changed into having. By doing these changes, we get the answer. Having decided to become a partner in about 1880, he started to paint the studies of peasants and miners. And next example. In this example, first we have to identify the first occurring clause as well as relative clause. Here it is the clause which are known as is dash period. So here this is who or which clause or relative clause. So first rule is that identification of the relative clause or first occurring clause. And second step is that we have to remove who or which are relative pronouns. Here relative pronoun which is removed. This is the rule number 2. And third one is that verb change. Here the verb is in passive form. Are known is the first passive form. So whenever verb is in passive, verb is passive finite verb, we have to remove be form. So here be form is removed. By doing these changes, we get the answer. During the next few years, known as his Dutch period, he produced paintings with rather dark greenish brown colors will be the right answer. And next example. In this example number 3, first we have to identify the first occurring clause or relative pronoun clause. Here this is the first occurring clause. This is rule number 1, and rule number 2 is that we have to remove the identical subjects. But here identical subjects are not there. He is the subject here in this class, and his subsequent paintings are the subject in this class. So here he and his subsequent paintings are not identical subjects. So we need not remove these subjects. Here identical subjects are not there. So we can keep the subjects as they are. And next, conjunction change. Here the conjunction is and. And is to be removed. And next one, finite verb change. Here the finite verb is in passive form. Was encouraged was in passive form. So we have to remove be form here. So was is removed. By doing these changes, we can get the answer. He encouraged by Pissarro to use more color in his pictures, his subsequent paintings were bright and immensely colorful. Now, textual example number 4. By close observation, we can know that the underlined part is the first occurring clause. So this is rule number 1. And rule number 2, we have to remove identical subjects. Here the identical subjects are Wango and he. Here it is pronoun, it is noun. So we have removed this pronoun here. And here conjunction if any, here the conjunctions if any is after. So after is the conjunction, so it is also falls under the category of removal. So this also forms rule number 2. So after these 2 rules, we switch over to third rule, that is finite verb change. Here finite verb is had. Had becomes having, because whenever we have the finite verb, it should be changed into verb 1 ing form. So this has been changed like that. So by doing these changes, we get the answer. Van Gogh, comma, having moved to Paris in the south of France in 1888, comma, worked frantically. Or we can write, having moved to Paris in the south of France in 1888, Van Gogh worked frantically will be the right answer. And example number 5 from our textual exercise. Here, in this example number 5, first we have to identify the first occurring class or who or which, that means relative class. Here, this is identified as this first step, which were written by him to his brother Theo and others is the class, that is relative class. And next, rule number 2, who or which are to be removed. So, which is removed here. And next, the passive finite verb is found here, were written. So, here be form is to be removed, where is removed here. So, by doing these changes, we get the answer. A lot is known about Van Gogh's life and his feelings because of hundreds of letters written by him to his brother Theo and others. So after doing these changes, we get the answer. A lot is known about Van Gogh's life and his feelings because of hundreds of letters written by him to his brother Theo and others will be the right answer. And next, example number 6. Again, we have to look at these 3 rules. First one, identify the first occurring class or who or which relative class. Here relative class is found, which was interrupted by the bouts of deep depression and despair. And next one, we have to remove who or which. Here which is there, which is removed as the second rule. And next, third rule. Here passive finite verb is found. Was interrupted was the passive finite verb. Here we have to remove be form. So as a third rule, was removed. So by doing these changes, we get the answer. This frenzied activity, interrupted by the bouts of deep depression and despair, produced the majority of his most famous paintings. Well, friends, in this way we can reduce the finite clauses to non-finite clauses. That means we can include the non-finite clauses like that participles in the sentences concerned. And rest of the examples will be discussed in the part 2. Well, friends, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel by tapping subscribe button on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. Namaste.